This video is sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. You want to know what's cool? Epic battles with epic powers and epic animation. Yeah, I really can't complain about Jujutsu Kaisen. The Shibuya arc does go hard. But do you know what's cooler? Character development. Not that JJK watchers would understand because Yuji doesn't go through any of that. Oh wait, I forgot. His character development is that he doesn't want to be a character anymore. Yeah, I rest my case that Yuta should have been the protagonist. But you know what actually has the best character development? It's not novels, or movies, or even ballets. It's, drumroll please, slice of life anime. For a few reasons I'll get to later, slice of life is often considered to be the most boring and uninteresting genre. But I would legitimately argue that slice of life anime are better than a majority of the most popular shonen and action anime right now. Why is that, you might ask? How could a snooze fest like Yuru Camp be better than Demon Slayer? Well, that's what a head-empty shonen watcher would say. They don't have the intellect to truly appreciate the artistic quality of Yuru Camp's Christmas episode. No, I'm just kidding, of course, you're allowed to enjoy what you want, and just because you mainly watch battle shonen anime or isekai, it doesn't mean you have a low IQ. I'm definitely not strongly encouraging you to explore other genres like slice of life. I understand that this genre is a little bit of an acquired taste, but hear me out as I show you how K-On! Solos your favorite battle shonen. God, I hate Demon Slayer. But do you know what I don't hate? The sponsor for this video. Let's go! Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. are both subscription boxes that get you up to 20 exclusive limited edition and seasonal flavored Japanese snacks. The themes for the upcoming February box is Be My Valentine for Tokyo Treat and Valentine's Indulgence for Sakura Co. So they'll make perfect gifts for your special somebody. Some of my favorite are the Pokemon Candy Hearts because I love Pokemon, and the Coco Sencha Tea because I'm addicted to tea. Make sure to use the code in the description below to get $5 off your first purchase. It also directly supports the channel so you can enjoy your snack boxes knowing that you're helping me stay unemployed. Big thank you to Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. for supporting the channel. Back to the video.
Was I supposed to be kidnapped? I thought it was on break.
Shh, be quiet, they'll hear you. First things first, we must define what slice of life is. According to Wikipedia, the most trusted source on the internet, in terms of literature, the term slice of life refers to a storytelling technique that presents a seemingly arbitrary sample of a character's life, which often lacks a coherent plot, conflict, or ending. In other words, it's quite literally taking a slice out of a character's life. I actually think that definition is pretty good, but due to how media is marketed, I feel like there's a heavy tendency to put things into boxes and categories, even though genres are more akin to a Venn diagram, I think. For example, everyone's favorite Sword Art Online is mainly a fantasy series, but it so happens to take place in the future, where sci-fi elements like Full Dive VR is commonplace. It's rare that a piece of media is only one genre, with most things taking elements from several established conventions. In terms of the slice of life genre, here are what I think are the most defining characteristics. 1. There's little to no plot. 2. It is cyclical in nature. And 3. There's a strong focus on the characters' daily lives. I would consider any piece of work slice of life as long as it follows the above characteristics, even if the setting happens to be in a fantasy world like Mushishi. In that series, we still focus on a character's daily life. The story doesn't really have much of a plot, and each encounter follows a similar episodic pattern, making the journey feel cyclical. Now that I've defined what slice of life is, we can dive into the criticisms of the genre. Now, I understand that the way we consume media is very subjective. Taste always plays an important role. Still, I think it's important that you can make an argument about why you dislike a certain genre. For example, I dislike isekais, not because of the genre itself, but because it has been flooded with so many low-effort works that make me lose brain cells just reading their titles. And also, isekais are stupid. The most common complaint I hear about slice-of-life anime is that it's boring. That's understandable since most slice-of-life anime aren't gonna have a JJK level fight. But at the heart of it, I believe there are 3 main reasons that people find slice of life boring. 1. There's no real plot. 2. The characters lack significant development. 3. The setting is boring, usually taking place in a regular old high school. Now, please allow me to destroy each of these criticisms with facts and logic. So yeah, I can't really argue against the fact that slice of life anime doesn't have a plot. It's true. It's literally one of the most defining aspects of the genre since these shows usually don't follow a conventional dramatic structure. But what if I told you plot isn't as important as you might think? Here, let me provide an example. You've watched Star Wars, right? try to recount the plot from A New Hope from beginning to end. If someone were to ask me that question, I'd talk about how, Darth Vader attacks Princess Leia's ship, R2-D2 gets sent to Tatooine, Luke Skywalker buys some droid or something, then he meets Obi-Wan and Han Solo, and then they go on an adventure, but then what? I completely forgot nearly everything that happened in the middle, and the last thing I remember is Luke blowing up the Death Star. For hardcore Star Wars fans, they could probably recount the entire plot verbatim, but for most people who have only seen the movie once or twice, it's pretty difficult to remember every major plot point. The same goes for any other movie or series. In fact, it's even harder to remember everything that happens in an anime series. But do you know what everyone remembers? Characters. Even if you forgot a majority of the plot in Star Wars, you're gonna remember who Luke Skywalker is. You're gonna remember who Darth Vader is. You're gonna remember crucial moments that define their characters, like when Luke discovered that Darth Vader was his father. Personally, I believe having iconic characters is enough to make an engaging series even if it doesn't have a strong or good plot. To define what exactly makes a strong plot, you must have a goal, stakes, and urgency. Most good shows usually have at least two of these elements. For example, in Chainsaw Man, the goal is to retrieve all the pieces of the Gun Devil. The stakes are the lives of Denji's friends and innocent people. The urgency is as simple as Denji having to complete various missions before he and other people get killed. Urgency is one of those things that isn't really included in everything, but in other stuff like Mission Impossible, it's made more explicit by having a physical countdown clock. Of course, there are actually exceptions to the slice of life genre, shows that do have plots. An example is A Place Further Than the Universe. Now, I know it's a little bit of a stretch to say that this show is slice of life, but it puts a strong focus on the daily lives of the main cast as they set off on their voyage. The main plot of the story involves the characters and their goal of reaching Antarctica, detailing how each of them change as a result of the adventure. But the plot actually goes deeper than that because the show is also a subtle critique on capitalism. Let me cook for a moment. These characters all seek to accomplish something greater in their lives as opposed to becoming slaves to the system, like going to school, graduating, and getting a boring office job. Unfortunately, they're trapped in a world where capitalism has captured every part of their lives and touched every continent, except for Antarctica. And so they set off for that icy utopia only to be met with various financial struggles. In a sense, the only way to escape capitalism is through capitalism. After arriving on Antarctica, the girls can't stay there for too long because they will always have to go back to their safe and familiar world. Having lived in exploitative capitalist societies all our lives, it becomes nearly impossible to imagine a world without capitalism and living in it. If you don't believe that A Place Further Than a Universe is a critique on capitalism, I could list out all the small moments that very subtly point out exploitation and consumerism, but my point is that some slice of life anime do have plots and are intricate enough to be thoroughly analyzed. Yeah, sorry for rambling a little bit there, but while I wouldn't consider A Place Further Than a Universe to be the most slice of life show, I'd say it's pretty close. In short, even though a strong plot can make a great story, I wouldn't necessarily say all great stories must have strong plots. That's the beauty of slice of life anime. These shows contain several miniature story arcs as we watch these characters go about their day. By themselves, the episodes may seem like disconnected, mundane vignettes, but they add up together to create significant development in the overall story. And that leads me to the next criticism about slice of life anime. No matter how crazy a show's plot might be, I feel that it always falls short if it lacks in character development. Of course, I'm talking about real development. You can't just show a character's flashback during a fight and say that's development. Once again, Demon Slayer's trash. Real development is when you put a character in a situation where they must make an impossible choice between two options. Real development is when a character must prove the value of their own beliefs against an enemy who is their complete antithesis. While it's true that slice of life only develops characters throughout their daily lives, that doesn't remove all possibility of development. I'm sure many people watching this video have undergone gradual change throughout their lives as they experience and learn new things, and that's how it is for slice of life stories, slow and gradual. Take for instance Skip and Loafer, one of the best slice of life shows I've ever seen. I've talked about it in a previous video, but it's just too good for me to ignore. The show essentially follows a country girl who recently moved to Tokyo and the several friends she's made during her time in high school. For the most part, each episode details the various activities each characters do on a daily basis, but what really makes the show compelling is the tremendous amount of nuance given to each character. They all have their own distinct set of beliefs and values, and as they interact with each other, these beliefs are challenged. Some characters change, while others choose to remain the same. Additionally, the show seldom explicitly says what certain characters are thinking. Much like real life, the audience is left to infer what people think by analyzing their actions and dialogue. Each of these characters go through multiple small arcs within the episodes. It's almost imperceptible, but when you look back at everything you've seen, you'll realize how much they've all changed. Another example is Spice and Wolf, which details the daily lives of a trader named Kraft Lawrence and a wolf deity named Hollow as they teach kids about economics. Hollow begins the show as someone that looks down on humans, often believing they're insignificant. Then, as the show progresses, Lawrence helps her learn the value of human lives. Likewise, Lawrence starts the story with a very cynical outlook, but Hollow's jovial nature helps convince him to lighten up a bit and, see things from a more optimistic point of view. As you can see, there's no lack of interesting character development in slice of life anime. It may be slow at times, but that gradual change makes a journey feel ever more impactful. As they say, it's not about the destination, it's about the friends we made along the way. The third criticism against slice of life anime is that their settings are often boring. A good majority just take place in a regular old high school, but as I've said before, genre is a very amalgamous thing, and there are plenty of slice of life shows that take place somewhere other than high school. Let's do a quick rapid fire round, shall we? Arcaea takes place in a Venice-like city on Mars and is about a girl who learns to become a gondola driver. Girl's Last Tour takes place in a post-apocalyptic world and is about the daily lives of these two girls as they travel by tank. Mushishi is about a guy that studies and protects people from mushi, which are supernatural life forms. There are plenty of other slice of life shows with alternative settings, and you don't always have to settle for the standard high school if you don't want to watch that. While the examples I gave don't necessarily have the most realistic portrayals of life, they still tackle quite relatable themes nonetheless. Now that I've properly defended the criticism against slice of life, it's time to talk about what actually makes this genre far superior than anything else. Why, despite its lack of conventional narrative structure, the genre has an extremely wide reach throughout the world. First of all, it's relaxing. You don't have to worry yourself over a world-ending Avengers-level threat. It's like a palate cleanser from everything you have to deal with in life. You get to watch fun, easygoing characters that usually only have to solve mundane, everyday problems at most. There's actually a Japanese word to describe the relaxation effect of slice-of-life anime. It's iyashike. The word literally translates to healing type. This is why, after watching a slice-of-life episode, it might feel like you've just ingested a healing potion. For anybody that's seen a lot of slice-of-life anime, you'd probably also notice that they all have this certain feeling or atmosphere. It's almost like experiencing ambient music in visual form, because the anime encourages a sense of calm and contemplation. It's another form of escapism that's set apart from the power fantasy isekais and the battle shonens that are often in the spotlight of popular culture. It's like how Yuru Camp is able to create such an inviting and awe-inspiring atmosphere as it shows Japan's vast landscapes and the characters bonding over their common activity of camping. It almost makes me want to go outside. Emphasis on almost, touching grass is still cringe and all. The second great thing about slice of life anime is that it's extremely relatable. Since the genre is focused on the everyday, it has a much easier time conveying experiences and emotions that the audience may also encounter. You can have scenes that highlight the little things in life. Though these encounters may seem insignificant in the grander narrative, they're still impactful to a character. A show like Arcaea is able to perfectly mirror this aspect as it shows what it's like to grow your bonds with a close-knit group of friends. You become more comfortable saying questionable things that you would never say in front of anybody else, and you form the craziest inside jokes that don't make any sense when taken out of context. But Arcaea isn't all fun and games. As the characters near their graduation, they must come to terms with the inevitable end. They may have to part ways. It's for these reasons that I often find slice-of-life characters so much more engaging than your average shonen anime character. No matter how crazy and outlandish somebody might be, I'll lose interest if I can't ever empathize with their struggles. On the other hand, Arcaea underscores the importance of the precious moments you spend with your friends, and shows just a bunch of goofballs making the most out of their daily lives. It's truly one of the most influential philosophical pieces that would make even Camus and Nietzsche proud. An underrated thing I have to mention is that many slice-of-life characteristics can also be used to create amazing stories outside of the genre. I think the prime example here is Mushoku Tensei. In the first season, Mushoku Tensei has us go on a dangerous and exciting adventure with Rudius and his companions. But then in season 2, he goes to school so he can research ways to cure his erectile dysfunction. Yeah, it's a strange show, but this right here is some of the most compelling fiction I've ever consumed. Deadass. You see, Rudius's ED is used as a physical representation of the heartbreak from the end of season 1. As we see Rudius going about his daily life in school, we get to see how he gradually gets over his heartbreak and learns to love again. Nearly everyone in real life has been rejected or experienced unrequited love. Mushoku Tensei season 2 in all its absurdity still manages to craft a profoundly relatable story by incorporating seemingly undesirable slice-of-life characteristics. As I always like to say, no matter how fantastical a world might be, we gravitate toward human stories. In conclusion, I created this entire video to recommend Skip and Loafer. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, Bleach sucks, Demon Slayer is mid, Jujutsu Kaisen falls off after Shibuya, and oh yeah, and Chainsaw Man is the greatest slice of life anime to have ever been made.
I wanna be him and I wanna be her. How could I compare to the